most everybody's joined and gotten on here, so we appreciate again all you joining us this afternoon. This is going to be our TCSA update on some issues related to the Opioid Abatement Council and other matters. So appreciate you joining us here. Mary Shelton with the Abatement Council called me a little while ago. She's running a little bit late, so we'll just talk about a couple other things prior to that. And I know we've got some folks on the call as well. I see Janie and Jeremy and Courtney from the UT Institute for Public Service SMART Initiative. And they have something coming up in August that's an availability from them that if one of you guys wants to hop on, I'll try to share my screen that gets the promo about your office hours that are scheduled in August. So any of you want to say a few words, feel free to unmute and let them know about that.
Yeah, so office hours are just open. You can come with any questions to throw at us. It's going to be all the consultants from each division, Grand Division of the state, and then I will also be there to support. So if there's any, if we have an overwhelming amount, we can go in breakout rooms, whatever you guys need. And there is reporting coming up in September, so if you have any questions about that, we can assist with that. Otherwise, if you guys need any updated projections with Kroger just finalizing, we can get you those. You just let us know.
Okay, great. Thanks for sharing that. So these folks work closely with CTAS and some of the other consultants out there, so they're available to be a help. I'll leave that up there just a couple more minutes if you want to get that QR code. So then we will be having Mary Shelton on in a few minutes, and part of what she's going to be talking about is the upcoming reporting as well as some new information that the Opioid Abatement Council is putting out on their website related to county funding. So give that just a couple of more minutes. And I hope on this, I know a lot of counties are working with different people or bringing in different staff to kind of assist them with these matters, since this is an area you haven't typically worked on. When we do these office or we do these webinars related to these topics, feel free always to forward that information on to someone else if you'd like to have someone join on behalf of the county. So let's see if I can stop sharing, and I believe Mary Shelton is joining us. Give her just a couple of seconds to hop on. Mary, have you joined us? Mary, let us know if you can hear us and if you've gotten connected.
Yes, I am connected. I can hear you.
Great, thanks. Appreciate you joining us this afternoon. As we've said just a few words about upcoming reporting requirements that'll be hitting later in the year, and that you all have some new resources and information you're putting up on your website. So do you have information you're wanting to share in a presentation, or just?
I do have a presentation, but yeah, so let me do that and I'll talk. I don't have any slides about the reporting, but I can talk a little bit about that.
Okay.
Okay, let me. Okay, let me know if that comes through, David.
Yep, that's coming through perfect.
Okay, awesome. So, hey everyone, I'm Mary Shelton. I'm the Executive Director for the Opioid Abatement Council. So thank you for having me today. Usually Ella has joined me, but she is finishing up maternity leave and hopefully will be joining us back in a few weeks. So I have a couple of updates, and then I will also share some information about the reporting as well. I kind of took those slides out, but I think I know enough to share. That is not coming through. Oops. Hold on one second. Sorry. Let me do. I don't know why that wasn't coming through. So let me try this. Sorry, it's not presentation, but you can see it. Just a brief reminder, the responsibility of the council. And can you, David, can you see the slide that has the words on it? The council upholds the responsibility to ensure that disbursements of the funds go towards funding programs, strategies, expenditures, and other actions designed to prevent and address the misuse and abuse of opioid products and treat or mitigate opioid use or related disorders or other effects of the opioid epidemic. So that's from public chapter, but that's now codified into Title 33. So the responsibility of the council, the opioid abatement funds can be spent for the following purposes: prospective opioid abatement and remediation, expenses incurred in administering and operating the Opioid Abatement Council, related expenses associated with administering, investing, and dispersing funds held in the opioid abatement or in the abatement fund, and executive director and support staff for the Opioid Abatement Council. And just a reminder, when money comes into the Opioid Abatement Council, it splits two ways, and the council is entrusted to manage these funds in the Opioid Abatement Trust Fund. So 35% goes to the subdivisions, which in this case are the 95 counties, and then 65% to the community, and that's where the council, that's what the council is managing for the community grants. I think somebody's not on mute. Just FYI. Okay, one reason why I asked David if I could talk with y'all today is that we are going to start posting more data on our website. So information related to our community grants and also information related to the county disbursements. And I was going to share with you some of the visualizations that we've had created. They're not finalized. We're working with a data analytics vendor to finalize these visualizations. So there will be county level reporting. And the idea here is that the visual data dashboard on a county level disbursement, allocation, and spend of state provided funding. The data will be updated as annual and semi-annual allocations are made available. So the data sources that will come from us, from the Opioid Abatement Council, what disbursements are we sending to the counties, and then from the semi-annual reports that y'all are sending to us. The output, it'll be an interactive dashboard that the Opioid Abatement Council office will be able to use. And then there will be also static PDF output that we will post on our website for the public to see. As y'all probably are aware, y'all get questions, we get questions. The public wants to know what is happening to the opioid abatement funds, how are they being spent, what's the time manner or time frame of them being spent, and then what are the monies going towards. So this is to help answer a lot of those questions. And I mean, if you've watched an Opioid Abatement Council meeting, you've either heard me or Dr. Lloyd talk about our desire to have as much transparency as we can, so that folks know what is happening with the Opioid Abatement Trust Funds. So this is a demo. It is live data, but showing from a county level report what is being spent. And so the more yellow the county is, less percent was spent. The more red a county is, more has been spent. So this will be on our website showing, based on the semi-annual report that we have received, how much money the county has spent. And we will have a little ticker over here, a dial, a gauge, I suppose, showing of the total funding for that particular year, how much of that funding was spent, and then also how much funding was dispersed, and then the funding that was spent. I think this will definitely help us as an office. We receive questions about the county funding frequently. Of course, direct them back to the counties. Y'all have signed an MOU with us, an LOA with us to spend the money based on what the council's decisions were. But apart from that, we don't have any involvement in the spending of the funds. So we direct all the inquiries back to the counties. But they also want to know, what's being spent, what's being allocated, and this will give them that information. So this will be updated after we receive each semi-annual report. And I believe that is, oh my goodness, September and March. I believe that is when those reports are due. So the next report will be due in September, and Ella will be in touch with all of y'all about completing that report. She sends out emails with the links to the form stack, lots of reminders to complete that semi-annual report. Then we will pull that information down, send it to our data analytics vendor, and they will update the visualizations. This is just another snapshot of what folks will be able to see, and I'm going to address the over 100% in a minute. We think some of this is due to the interest that y'all are earning on the funds, and so I'm going to talk about that just briefly here in a minute. But they will be able to see, the top 20 counties, what percent of those funds have been spent. And then there will be this is just, obviously it's not all 95 counties, it's just a snapshot of showing the funds dispersed, which is already on our website by year, and then also showing the amount allocated, then the percent allocated, then the amount spent and the percent spent, and then what year. So it can be shown by year. So these are the visualizations that we're working with SAS, our data analytics vendor, to produce. We're expecting to post the county level data sometime in August. And the county level data, like I said, will be updated with each semi-annual report. I will definitely stay in touch with David to let him know when this gets posted on the website so he can let y'all know and have a link to that information. And actually, I am going to try to launch the browser. Let's see if I'm able to do this. Sometimes it's not very quick, but let me, I'm going to let that load and I'll show y'all where the information is going to be. So any questions about reporting, putting the publicizing the visualizations for the reporting?
Mary, this is David. I had a quick question. Yeah. The data you've got out there right now would be based then off of the March report?
Yes. Okay. Yes. And that's another thing. If you're fine, if once it's put up there, and we'll send out the links, if you notice any discrepancies, please let us know as soon as possible. Again, once Ella gets back, she's going to dive into this and make sure that all the numbers line up, that we're pulling the information off the semi-annual report correctly. I mean, y'all enter it into form stack, and then the form stack aggregates that automatically. So there's no manual entering of numbers, and then we send that to SAS. But somewhere, I mean, mistakes happen. We totally know that, and we're happy to make any corrections.
So if anybody else has a question out there, I think we can try unmuting and just jump in and ask, or if you want to type a question in the chat, either one.
So just real briefly, we have updated our website to break out community funding and county funding and reports and resources. So county funding has its own page now because we've ended up with too much information on one page. So we're required by law to disperse 35% to the counties. A news release from last year about the first directed payments. So 2024, the amounts dispersed, 2023. So we have some of this information up here. This will just make it more user-friendly and allow people to see kind of more quickly where the money is going. David, I cannot tell if anybody has their hand raised. I'm going to rely on you.
Sorry, I was muted. We have one question in the chat, just if you can share the slides.
Yes, so absolutely. Yes, I will share those. Yes, I'll send those to you. Okay. All right. So that's all I have on that piece. We have received questions about the interest that the counties are earning on the disbursements. So the LOA says that the disbursements need to be placed into an interest-bearing account, but then that's where the direction ends. So I'm going to ask for some patience as we work through this. We have the questions, but it turns out we're going to need to talk with other state leaders to determine the guidance for the interest. Guidance does not exist in state law, and we have not developed any guidance. So we need to talk to a few other people before we get back with you guys. But I've got the questions. I've spoken with our inside counsel, our advising counsel, and he's advised me to talk to some other people to get their opinion on this. So absent all of that, I guess hang tight. We're not at any, hopefully, I don't think we're at any turning point right here, but hang tight and we will get back with y'all as soon as we can. I'm hoping to get back with y'all in a month and get that guidance back to you guys.
Okay. And you had mentioned earlier that some counties showed up as spending more than 100%. So you think they're using their original
I think that's the
disbursement plus
interest.
their interest? Okay.
Yes. I think that's the interest. Yes. Thank you for that reminder. There was also, I think there was a calculation problem in one, and then also wanting to make sure that when y'all report to us that you're only reporting on the funds received from the Opioid Abatement Council and not Brown Greer. So that we don't need any of the reporting on the monies that y'all receive from Brown Greer, only the monies that are coming from the Opioid Abatement Council.
Looking briefly at some of those figures, like I think Clay County was one that had like 140%. I would have a suspicion that they may be including some of the other money they received directly. That might be that, but we can try
And
to.
I've reached out to several of the counties, and I hate to keep saying this, but I'm waiting for Ella to come back. We've had a few other things going on. So when Ella gets back, that's going to be first on her list, is to reach out to those counties and maybe it's something on our end, maybe it's something on their end, but want to make sure that we have the right numbers, especially as they're going to be put on our website. So want to get all that shored up so that once all the visualizations are posted, that we know we have good backup for those numbers. All right, so we owe you information on the interest earned. And then this is just my last slide, the contact information, opioid.abatement@tn.gov. But just, again, briefly on the semi-annual reports, September and March, the next semi-annual report is due in September, and Ella will be in touch with everyone with the link and the reminder and offer any technical assistance. And David, maybe we'll come back in September and we can present again just as a reminder to everybody. We're happy to do that.
Yeah. I was just going to mention, I think probably this March report this last time, a lot of counties were still in the process of figuring out what to do, so they may not have been able to put money into a category or show much spent. But I would expect this next one, when we get into September, based on this new budget cycle, a lot of counties have started to approve usage of the funds. So that may be something that they're adding in and may have some questions as they start deciding, like, all right, which bucket are we spending in? But I think that's important for that to be a part of this transparency and people to know, like, hey, some is being spent on prevention, some on treatment, some on other matters like that. So
yeah, absolutely, and we can totally do that, and it all goes back to the remediation list. And there's a companion remediation list that Ella created. I think Ella created that. Each component of the remediation list is attached to a strategy. So the council created those 6 strategies: primary prevention, treatment, recovery support, harm reduction, education and training, and evaluation, and research and evaluation. So the council came up with those 6 strategies, and we have a document that assigns each of the remediation elements to a strategy. And I know there's a lot of duplication and repetition within the remediation document, so it's just finding the one that fits the best.
Okay. We do have another question in the chat asking, will committed funds show up on the map or just expenses? I think they mean like expenditures, like already spent or.
Yeah, just already spent. The map is showing just spent, but the allocation will be right here.
We'll give it
Yeah,
a couple.
I believe these are the three visualizations, static visualizations that I've selected from the dashboard. That would be apparently too much information is people get overwhelmed. So I was, they asked me to, keep it kind of simple. So these are the three that I selected.
All right, we'll give folks just a couple other minutes to see if other questions show up. But again,
Sure
Mary,
thing.
appreciate you joining us and giving us the update and the resources that are going out.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And just another plug for the website. We do have a meeting coming up on July 31st. It's an emergency meeting. We do meet 4 times a year in person, and that rotates across the state. So if we're in your area, we'd love to meet you, come out to the meeting. This next meeting is 100% virtual, and the information is right here. It's July 31st at 4:30 Eastern, 3:30 Central, and there's a Teams link right here, and you can find all of the information from our past meetings on our website as well. So the website is the main source document for everything that's going on with the Tennessee Opioid Abatement Council. So it's just tn.gov/OAC, or just do a search for Tennessee Opioid Abatement Council, and it comes up pretty quickly. But I'm very happy to be here. Thank you guys so much. Thank you for all you're doing. We appreciate it. I know it's a lot of decisions that have to be made, and we appreciate y'all doing the research and using the funds wisely. So thank you.
Quick question for me. If the upcoming meeting at the end of the month is like an emergency call meeting, is there a specific topic that y'all will be addressing in this one? Or?
It'll be the community grants.
Okay. Well, I'm not seeing any other questions showing up in the chat. So if we appreciate everybody joining us this afternoon, and thank you, Mary, for the updates. Just whenever you get a chance to get me the slides, we will probably send that out along with a link to the recording in our next newsletter, so folks can get access to that even if they couldn't join us today. So thank you again.